My name is Margaret Ann Windsor, and I was kidnapped in 1941 and brought to Moulton, Alabama, given the name of a twin that was dead. This is me. That's in 43. This is the woman killed her twins, Lina Dempsey, and they gave me her name. They dropped me off there in 41. This was made in 43, and that's a glossed over picture. The house they don't show, they had no cars. They had to bring a tripod camera in from Huntsville or Decatur back then to take the photo, and they didn't have the money, let me clue you. So somebody deliberately did it. I'm going to use Larry Flint's Hustler magazine here. I've done that quite a bit because everybody knows that Mr. Flint was shot in Lawrenceville, Georgia, March the 6th of 78, paralyzed. And by the way, I want to say this. This was in April of 84. And he says in articles he wrote that they made me a pauper, and I know who's responsible for his shooting. Larry McDonald was a doctor I wrote about in a medical malpractice book. I was writing about mind control, and he was U.S. Congressman. His plane went down August 31st of 83, and all aboard were killed. It was the KAL, South Korea. It was en route from Juneau to Seoul, South Korea, and it veered into Russian airspace. I was writing about mind control and what can be done with it, programming people to shoot and kill, or take an airplane into another airspace and get shot down, or into the middle of the ocean or side of the mountain. Then national security can come in and say, well, you're frightening people. Well, I had a letter from the U.S. Attorney June the 23rd while I was living at Moonraker Apartments, and I wanted to show that if I can get it on this video. This is one of the last times I really saw my sons. And this is it right here. I moved from Moonraker. That's my son Scott and Mark, and my father, Edward VIII. Now then, this is what I wanted to get into. I can't get into it all, so this was a picture of me growing up. This is my dad. And you won't see me on the genealogy sheet because it's all wrong. My father never married Wallace Simpson, a double did, imposter, and became the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. My father was legally wed to Claudia Ruth O'Keefe, the O'Keefes, George O'Keefe, the artist. Is my aunt. So this was a total lie. My uncle, George VI, this is 39 the year I was born. They've already removed my father illegally. All this was a lie. 99 years still put in his removal and my birth. I'm Victoria II heir, and I am the legal heir to the British Crown, not this woman. Using my money, sold out her country. She's part of the Illuminati, Freemasons, and so was my uncle that took down my father and kidnapped me, and so is her son. So is Hillary Clinton. There's a whole bunch of them. The Rockefellers, Rothschilds, Bilderbergers, the Kennedy clan. He was ambassador to Great Britain, appointed by Roosevelt. My uncle helped him so he could become the illegal George VI. So this is illegal, Georgia, the genealogy sheet. George V, my grandfather, Queen Mary, first son, my father, Edward VIII, never married Wallace Simpson. They have told a lie and took him down and put a seal on it. And George, the illegal George VI, who helped commit all the crimes, and his daughter he's dead. So what I wanted to go ahead and say here is this part. If anybody has listened this long, because I'm not sure I'm going to be able, a lot of things are happening to me, and I don't know if I'm going to get through it or not. I want to read this, At his best, man is the noblest of all animals. Separated from law and justice, he is the worst. By Aristotle. I thought Criminal Minds, which is one of my favorite programs, by the way, that's the profilers, okay, out of Quantico. They are always using quotes. I thought that would be a good one for them to quote. Now then, I wanted to go back to mind control and that you can cure illnesses or create them. You can make deaths appear of natural cause. Someone the other day reminded me that everybody's afraid of ISIS and the beheadings. There's different ways to behead you where you still live and people can make fun of you or not like you, put you in a vegetative, on the bed dead, and then unhook you. But what I've been talking about, telling about, in 76 to April Fool's Day of 80, they put antifreeze in me. This is just one of the things that they did, and I should have died. So the law has been broken all along, and unless you get an attorney, just like I read that, an attorney to represent you in a court of law, it's no good. They can keep on lying and lying, and law enforcement, especially your top law enforcement, is FBI. Now then, the Justice Department, just like the FBI, turned the letter in 79 over to the U.S. Attorney William Harper, and he sent me a letter that it was an ongoing investigation, national security involved. Well, ask yourself why. I thought it was because of the book I wrote. Now I know it was because of my kidnapping and who I am. But I want to go back to this. FBI investigate, and they can go over state lines. They turn whatever, okay, and they can get stuff on people, and everybody's got something to hide. So really, it lies there. Do they want it prosecuted? They turn it over to the Justice Department, who's too busy wanting to put away Edward Snowden for telling the truth. There's a day that if all this told is you would wish you had listened. The FBI back then, it's the people that they didn't have to do it. If the FBI or law enforcement told you to do it and it was illegal, you knew it. If they had something on you, you should have cleared it up and used this law enforcement you're so proud of and your judicial system that is broken. Anyway, so that I get this on, I'm going to just skip because I don't know if I'll be able to put any more on or even get out of where I am here. I didn't break any laws, but I don't anyway. This was given to me as the Tesla files, this copy here out of the library. And that's where I found out the mind control, ability to create illnesses, or cure them, program people so that they'll kill, modify their behavior. And the agency doing it is the one that should be convicted, not the person as in James Holmes, Aurora, Colorado, or the Boston bomber up there now, the Russian, that they're saying is under the influence of his brother, but they won't say the truth is under the influence of mind control, and he's a total victim. So I could go on and on with it. But anyway, I wanted to read this, the influence of McCarthy. Okay, the FBI and federal government, I don't have all of that, it's blanked out, solved in suppressing Tesla's scientific papers. Okay, and then it's Tesla papers were stolen, and it gets into the FBI were the ones that had them. I'm trying to get it, and I can't because this is going off. It does say it better here. Okay, it says make brainwave manipulation one of the more transmitting can supposedly send destructive impulses through the, well, they're talking about another thing here. Oh, me. And everybody's letting this go on. By the way, is anybody asking themselves about over in Switzerland, the underground that's going on there that could be, and this is not just my word, and I'm not telling anything that hasn't been told. You can turn on what used to be Art Bell program, free media.